Today's topic of discussion is core competency. So core competency has three features to it. Okay. So before I discuss about those three features, I want you to be aware of the fact that we are living in a day and age where companies are not doing A to Z work. A lot of mechanical stuff is getting outsourced, and it's mostly going to China. So a lot of mechanical stuff is getting outsourced so that companies, organizations can focus on their core competency, the skill that they are good at, something which made them number one, their core competency. So they can fully focus on that rather than thinking, oh my God, this is the factory of mine. How can I employ people? The number of people that need to be employed. How can I take care of these employees? All this dirty work or mechanical work is outsourced to China or any other developing countries. So this is the day and age that we are living in. Previously, companies used to own everything, right from production plant to the people working inside the factories, marketing, operations, product development, innovation, everything was done by that company. So as a result, dilution used to happen. But right now, we are in a day and age where things are just outsourced. So since you people are just starting on this marketing journey, I would like to tell you, I would like to give you a very simple example. Let's say there is spectacles, okay? Spectacles. So what is that day and age that we are living in? I, as a person, am finding out the best factory which manufactures lenses, okay? I do my research and I zero down on a particular factory which is the best manufacturer of lenses. Okay, fine. I do another research. I research about those factories which manufacture frames. So I find out factory number 2, there is factory number 1, there is factory number 2. I do a tie-up. So when I do a tie-up, I can only focus on product development, innovation and marketing. That's it. I'm outsourcing these things, these mechanical things to a third party, so I can focus only on core competency rather than searching for a land, building a factory, owning all the employees, paying them properly. If they do any strike, pampering them and consoling them, relax, life will be great, you won't be a homeless person. Rather than doing all these things, I'm only focused on product development, innovation and marketing. That's it. So this is what happens when you outsource stuff. You can have full focus on your core competency. Now, what is this core competency that I'm talking about? It has three features to it. The first is source of competitive advantage. The second one is application in wide variety of markets. The third is entry barriers. Let's speak about the first one. Source of competitive advantage. When I say source of competitive advantage, you're always faced with this question in the business world. How are you different? What is your USP? Okay, fine. You are into real estate. Okay, what is your USP? How are your properties different from the rest? Okay, fine. If you are a hardware manufacturing company, you manufacture smartphones. How are you different? What are the tie-ups that you have? What is the operating system that you have? So these are the questions that you need to ask, and this forms the source of competitive advantage. So how are you different? So when you have clarity in answering this question, your first point is tick marked. Second is it has applications in a wide variety of markets. All of us know that iPhone is coming from China. Now all of us know. I'm telling you, with my 6.5 years of teaching experience, before the pandemic, people thought that the entire iPhone was coming from America. This was the fact. Many students used to get it wrong in the class. So when I tell them that, your iPhone is a China product, they'll be like, Oh my God, I didn't know this. So this is the thing. This is what Apple is doing. It's outsourcing a lot of mechanical stuff to the Chinese manufacturer so that they can focus on product development, R&D, innovation and marketing. So they influence your mind in such a way, they influence your subconscious mind in such a way that they give you the feeling that, you know what, this particular piece is coming from America. It's made in America. Everything about this phone is America. That's why you say you need to learn marketing from the Americans. So, speaking about the second point, application in wide variety of markets. When they are outsourcing their stuff to the Chinese factory, they are focusing on core competency. Their core competency is not just applicable to this particular iPhone that I am recording to. Their core competency is applicable to Mac, iPod, iPad and many other devices which are coming up, earpods, whatnot, Apple watches. So their skill set, their core competency is not just limited to iPhone only. It is applicable to wide variety of markets. That's how they create an ecosystem. And once you are locked in this ecosystem, it's very difficult to come out. So that's the second point. First point is what? Source of competitive advantage. Second is it has to be applicable. Your core competency has to be applicable in wide variety of markets. The third one is entry barriers. When I say entry barriers, what do I exactly mean by entry barriers? There is something called as low entry to barriers. There is something called as high entry to barriers. Okay. So I'll just give you an example. Let's say you're in a hostel sleeping with your friends and 6 a.m. early in the morning your friend wakes up and says, dude, I want to open a cafe. I want to open a cafe which serves vegan food. You'll be like, okay, great, all the best. And I'm sure you being you must have got many things right. You are sorted with your core, with your competitive advantage as well. So I give you full support. I give you full support. If you want to discuss additional things with me, you can discuss. So this might be your reply when someone is saying, I want to open a cafe. I'll give you another case. Your friend wakes you up at 6 a.m. and he tells you, dude, I want to start an airlines of mine. Generally, if I was in the class, I would have seen a lot of smiling faces in front of me. Obviously, it does naturally induce a smile on our face. You know why? Because consciously or subconsciously, all of us know that it's a very, very big task. Starting an airlines of yours is not a joke. Why am I saying it's not a joke? Because the barriers to entry are very high. You need to get a lot of clearances. You need to have tie up with the airport. You need to buy aircrafts in bulk, not in numbers of 2 or 3 or 4. You need to buy aircrafts in bulk so that you get a good deal. It requires a lot of capital. And you can't just wake up at 6 a.m. and say, I want to start an airlines of mine. So this is where the barriers to entry comes into the picture. When I say airlines, the barriers to entry are very high. That's the extreme example. Another extreme example is cafe. The barriers to entry are pretty low. You just need to get few things right, choose a nice place, that's it. You're good to go. So this is the third thing about core competency. Entry barriers. So when can your core competency be bang on? When you get these 3 points right. When you have solid answers to these 3 points. What is the first point? Source of competitive advantage. So if you can tell investors, if you can tell the venture capitalists saying that, dude, this is how we are different. If you can convince them, that means your first point is tick marked. Second is application in wide variety of markets. So in this day and age, you need to create ecosystems. So your skill set has to be applicable to an ecosystem rather than just one product or one service. So if the second part is also correct, you know what? This is how my ecosystem will be enriched. If you're able to convince the investors, your second point is also right. What is the third point? Entry to barriers. How easy it is to replicate the business model that you're suggesting. Is it easy or is it tough? You should make it tough. That's how that's how you'll survive in this business world. That determines your sustainability. You need to create high barriers to entry. Suddenly tomorrow no one can build another Amazon. No one can build another Apple. They have gone through a lot of toil. They must have come close to bankruptcy as well. So it's an empire which can't be built in just 5 or 6 years. So entry to barriers. What are your entry barriers? How are you making it high? Are you patenting certain software features of yours? Or are you the only one who is serving that particular market? Or are you early into that market? These are the questions that you need to ask for yourself. If the third point is weak, then the investors will be like, I can easily penetrate with one of my mentees. I'm mentoring certain people. I've invested in those companies. They can easily replicate your business model. This is what they'll be saying if your barriers to entry are very low. But once you have solid entry barriers, that is when the investors will be excited, the VCs will be excited, the banks will be excited, and that's how you get the capital. So you need to have clarity in all these 3 points. Source of competitive advantage, application to wide variety of markets. Third is entry barriers. You need to have high entry barriers. Clear?